Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So look what we have this morning, guys. An XRP up to 77.5 cents. You can see it's on the daily right now. Let me throw it on the hourly. And boom, just over the last few hours, we have seen a spike for XRP. And, we're not seeing that throughout the entire crypto market. Mostly everything is in the red. Even Bitcoin down 2.46. We got Ethereum down 2.23. All these other coins in the red by and large, but XRP up 6.56% in the last 24 hours. The market cap still holding at about 1.8 trillion. Bitcoin dominance sliding a little bit, but not by much. So why are we seeing this pump for XRP, considering, the rest of the market is by and large fairly flat? So I just brought up Bitcoin here on the daily chart. Bitcoin is now hovering above $39,000. Right now we're sitting at about 40,100, and you can see not much movement here for the King crypto. Well, guys, speaking at the Paris Blockchain Week just yesterday, Brad Garlinghouse revealed some interesting information, and I have a feeling that is why we are seeing a bit of a FOMO pump for XRP price. So this brought to us by Michael at Val5Links. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse is increasingly optimistic that the long-running case with the SEC will deliver a positive result for the blockchain-based global payments company. Speaking on the main stage at Paris Blockchain Week on Thursday, which was just yesterday, Garlinghouse told attendees of the fireside chat that Ripple's defense in the ongoing case was faring better than he even expected. So Brad Garlinghouse saying, look, I knew we were going to do well, but I did not think it was going to go this well. Here's a quote. He says, "The lawsuit has gone exceedingly well and much better than I could have hoped when it began about 15 months ago." So here's Brad Garlinghouse at that fireside chat, a clip from just yesterday in Paris. Down here, the SEC filed the 2020 lawsuit against Ripple and its senior executives, Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson, for selling unregistered securities in the form of XRP. If you guys remember last week, Jeremy Hogan also mentioned that Ripple could have secured a very big win against the SEC after presiding Judge Sarah Netburn denied the SEC's request to reconsider shielding documents under privilege. The documents were related to the speech delivered by former SEC Director William Hinman, where he specified that Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities. Here's a quote. "This case is important not just for Ripple, it's important for the entire crypto industry in the United States," said Garlinghouse. He added that if Ripple were to lose the case, a precedent could be set that would see most tokens on cryptocurrency exchanges become recognized as securities by the SEC. This would mean that exchanges can be forced to register with the SEC as brokers, and exchanges would be compelled to register the identity of all token holders. So this is going to have wide-reaching implications, as we've discussed on this channel. The Ripple SEC case, guys, is going to be a landmark case, not just for the United States, but I think it is going to set an imprint on the cryptocurrency industry around the entire world. If you determine XRP is a security of Ripple, we have to know every person that owns XRP, he says. That's an SEC requirement. You have to know all of the shareholders, and it's not possible. However, a convincing Ripple victory could see the SEC take a step away from its aggressive pursuit of the crypto industry. So that's the other thing that the SEC has on the line here. If they lose this suit, they will lose power. And so as of now, Brad Garlinghouse is saying this is looking as good as it has ever looked. It is much better than what he hoped for, even when it began 15 months ago. But there's more, guys, and I'm going to get to that in a second. First, I wanted to bring you guys some Ripple partner news. This one courtesy of Matthew Lany on Twitter. Residents of the UAE and Saudi Arabia see cryptocurrency as a means of payment. We know the MENA region obviously has been very, very receptive to Ripple and RippleNet technology. Well, according to the results of a study by Checkout.com, about 25% of respondents in both the UAE and Saudi Arabia believe that cryptocurrency should be used as a currency and not only as an investment asset. These studies show that that this indicator is 9 percentage points higher than the world average in 25%. So we're not just seeing this in the United States, we're seeing this in the MENA region. People are realizing cryptocurrency can be utilized for payments and are not going to just be speculative investment tools. And this is why, right, just going back to this article here, giving XRP the classification of a currency and not a security would see the SEC take a step away from its aggressive pursuit of the crypto industry because they would not have that jurisdiction over a currency. And this is the direction we want to go. So for comparison, in the United States, the largest economy in the world and one of the largest crypto markets in the world, here's what we're seeing. Consumers understand the functionality and advantages of paying with cryptocurrencies, whether it be stablecoins or cryptocurrencies, without being tied to fiat. Faster transactions and reduced fees, especially for cross-border transactions, seem attractive to consumers. So out of the 30,000 respondents that responded to this, I don't know why this says 587%, but anyway, they plan regularly or from time to time to pay with cryptocurrencies. However, there are obstacles that prevent digital currencies from becoming popular, even in countries such as Saudi Arabia and the UAE. Approximately 25% of respondents in Saudi Arabia and just over 30% in the UAE said that cryptocurrency is too complex to become a mass phenomenon. So there is still a portion of the population, around a third, that is saying, we still really don't know how we're going to go about this. According to other countries, though, more than 30% of respondents, in which also consider the cryptocurrency too complex, are Australia, France, Italy, Spain, and the United Kingdom. According to the study, just over 30% of respondents in Saudi Arabia and about 30% in the UAE agreed that cryptocurrency is too risky. For comparison, in Hong Kong and Singapore, more than, and then they left the number out of respondents hold this opinion. Okay, so this article is not very well written. Let me just bring you guys back up to here, though. Faster transactions and reduced fees, especially for cross-border payment transactions, seem attractive to customers. Obviously, with certain cryptocurrencies, you can accomplish this, and it's no surprise that in the MENA region, we are seeing countries like the UAE and Saudi Arabia running on RippleNet. This is what the customers want, ultimately, over 2/3 of them, and so, this is what these countries are delivering. Using cryptocurrency as a means of payment and not just for that speculative investment that it has been used for up to this point. So wanted to thank Matthew LANY for posting that. Also just wanted to bring you guys this. I thought this was interesting from megaman.xdc here on Twitter. This means it has to be tested on Songbird first. So apparently Flare Finance, the DeFi platform's upcoming launch on the Flare networks, will integrate the XDC asset across all its products, guys. In addition, Flare Finance and the XDC network will have a bi-directional bridge, which will provide full interoperability between the two platforms and allow all assets on the Flare Finance platform to be minted on the XDC network. So for you XDC holders, it looks like we are seeing some synergy here with XDC and the Flare networks. As well, XDC holders will be able to participate in Flare Finance's suite of products, possibly earning passive income by staking, borrowing, and lending. So boom, another collaboration, XDC, the XDC network, and Flare Finance collaborating together. And again, it does have to be tested on Songbird first. So for those of you guys still maybe a little pessimistic about the sandbox and the Songbird token maybe not yielding as much as you thought it would, and the price, of course, down to about, I think it's down to around 6 cents now. Baby steps, guys. We are moving towards real world utility, and we're gonna go through these teething pains along the way. Anyway, this sounds great though for XDC holders. Flare Network followers, wanted to thank megaman.xdc here for posting that. And so just with regards to the case, going back to what we heard out of the Ripple camp yesterday after seeing that XRP pump overnight, well, Dictator Know-It-All brought this up on Twitter, tagging Stuart Alderati, Brad Garlinghouse, and Ripple. This with regards to a comment that John Deaton made the other day. I don't know if you guys saw that little selfie video I did yesterday. I was going to talk about this in yesterday's video, but the power went out here and I couldn't get it up. So I'm bringing this to you today, and I've updated a little bit for today, considering we did just recently get that XRP pump, and we did just recently get Brad Garlinghouse talking about how confident he is now in the lawsuit. Well, I mean, I don't want him to be speaking too soon, and I'll tell you why. So Dictator Know-It-All here retweeting out John Deaton's tweet. Please provide some input into this new lawsuit against Hinman and Clayton. Could this negatively impact the Ripple XRP lawsuit? So John Deaton gave his thoughts about this, but before I get into John Deaton's thread, I'm going to talk about the lawsuit that has recently been brought forth. Now, this is from Fred Rispoli. I promise you're going to want to read this until the end. Those within the ranks are intimately aware of the corruption within the government entity that used to be founded on principles of justice and protection of individual rights. Obviously, he's talking about the SEC here. We also know only now that so many insiders knew of the corruption, the graft, and the scheming that has created an all-out assault on American and global innovation in digital assets and blockchain technology. This innovation improves and saves lives, frees people from debt slavery, and allows others to send real value to those in dire need in poorer or less fortunate and unfairly neglected parts of the world. Alas, like nearly everything in life, innovation that can save so much at such a large scale and at such reduced costs from the legacy system, well, that threatens long-entrenched, powerful interests, and those interests maintain their grip by persuading others to bend to their will. We know now only some of the seedy underbelly of what has happened behind closed doors in secret with Mr. Clayton, as he's dubbed here Homer J. Clayton with a hashtag, and Mr. Hinman, as he's hashtagged here Willie Hinman regarding their conspiracy to destroy the XRPL network. These two knew each and every XRPL network user had a substantial interest in the growth and development of the XRPL network. These two knew, while collecting taxpayer-funded government salaries, that the XRPL network was a massive threat to the financial interests of their former clients and previous employers. Though many have rightly called for an investigation into this conduct, no investigation is coming. No congressional subpoenas are on the horizon. And besides a handful of lone voices, no other crypto communities are coming to stand by as allies in support of a just cause. In truth, the XRP army always knew this. And so he goes on. This is quite a lengthy tweet thread. I'm not going to read the rest of it, but if you guys are interested, I will link it in the description as I always do. And he's also posted the Dropbox here with the formal complaint. So Calibrit down here saying, I was so excited to see this, but now I'm wondering if it's a joke. Homer and Willie, which I happen to point out there. Rouge, you mean rogue. SEC officials, has this actually been filed? David Schwartz even chiming in. If it's a joke, the level of commitment to the joke is impressive. Now, I don't know. Is Fred Rispoli actually filing this or not? So here's what John Deaton had to say, assuming it is a legitimate filing. I have many DMs about the putative class action filed in Arizona. And so just for context, Fred did file this in Arizona. Here are my honest thoughts. I was the first person to publicly raise the conflicts of interest and gross appearances of impropriety related to Clayton and Hinman. One of the alternative motives I raised in the writ of mandamus filed only 9 days after the Ripple lawsuit was about Clayton's personal gain. Immediately after the case against XRP was filed, I wrote the lawsuit appeared to be used as a weapon. If you guys remember way back then, this is where it all stemmed from. There was something fishy going on, it didn't make sense, and this is why John Deaton did file that writ of mandamus, because this is actually hurting XRP hodlers. Many of you may recall I wrote the Ethereum Free Pass memo in the original Undisputed Facts timeline thread that had 6 million impressions, and then he posts that down here. In other words, I fully understand the sentiment and frustration that people have regarding Clayton, Hinman, and the lawsuit against XRP. I always know that we live in an age where people want results today. I need to make it clear that I had nothing to do with the filing in Arizona class action versus Clayton and Hinman. People have asked me about pursuing them and the SEC for damages. I've maintained that you cannot rush a case where there are issues of sovereign and qualified immunity. I've communicated that once you file a case either against them personally or against the SEC itself, there will be motions to dismiss based on multiple grounds. Rule 12b-6 motions, failure to state a claim, motions to dismiss based on qualified immunity, etc. When going after a government employee in their personal capacity, it is best to have as much evidence as possible to demonstrate to the court that these government actors were acting outside the scope of their employment. So the evidence, this is what is going to be quintessential for this case to be successful, at least in John Deaton's opinion. Many of you believe this has already been proven, and I understand why. Some unbiased people, however, like Charles Gasparino and Eleanor Turret, may admit that it looks bad, but are not convinced there's actual wrongdoing or criminal laws violated. Freddie Riz, who is Fred Rispoli, filed the case against Clayton and Hinman. If Fred knows the judge presiding over the case, and he is extremely confident that the judge will deny the initial motions and grant Fred the ability to engage in liberal discovery, then it could prove to be a good move. Notice how the complaint makes reference to the need to engage in discovery. It reads, plaintiff believes substantial evidentiary support will exist for and further support the allegations set forth herein after a reasonable opportunity for discovery. Then he just links a screen grab of the actual filing. The problem is, if the judge doesn't allow Fred to subpoena third parties or get emails, etc., the case could get thrown out quickly. Look how hard it is for Ripple to get discovery, and Ripple was actually sued. Fred's plaintiff wasn't actually sued. The problem for XRP hodlers, okay guys, and here's where it concerns you and I, is that if this case isn't taken seriously and thrown out, what if a judge writes something like the claims against Clayton and Hinman are totally without merit? Imagine that. I bet CNBC will finally report on it and Clayton and Hinman will be happy. Now, why wouldn't this case be taken seriously? Unfortunately, it is written in a manner that attempts to entertain. Calling Clayton Homer and Hinman Willie has a cartoonish ring to it. But maybe Fred knows the judge and he or she will be receptive. So that was a risky move, according to John Deaton. Homer J. Clayton, or we'll call him Homer from here on out, or Willie Hinman. otherwise known as Willie. And this is why, some people are wondering if this is actually a joke or not, and if he actually did file this or not. John Deaton continues by saying, I certainly wouldn't write that before Judge Torres or the federal judge. I filed a writ of mandamus before. The complaint alleges tortious interference with business expectancy, but never explains what that business expectancy was. Is it simply price appreciation? The complaint alleges Clayton and Hinman filed a lawsuit against Shannon O'Leary and all other XRP network users. Technically, they didn't, and I was denied a motion to intervene, and this will be challenged immediately. The complaint alleges Homer and Willie concocted the speech outside of the scope of their employment with the SEC, but we know there are 63 emails and 68 drafts and edits and comments from many other SEC employees. There are other issues that concern me, but the bottom line is that I fear there are possible other reasons for rushing this lawsuit and using the language it did. What those reasons are, I do not know. So John Deaton has concerns that, if this does get thrown out, this could set a precedent and have implications on the wider lawsuit. After all, the hard work that myself and all these other people in the XRP community have done, and all the other sleuths that have contributed, I will hate to possibly see the judge dismiss the case and hurt a future case. Fred's thread said no investigation is coming, although one may not be coming very soon. He has been privy to the progress made in convincing some that certain inquiries need to be made. My fear is that I run into someone saying to me down the road, didn't a federal judge look at this and throw it out? With that said, of course, I hope my concerns don't come true. I hope Fred is confident he will be taken serious and the judge allows discovery. So there you guys have it, John Deaton's opinion on this, whether it was a joke or not. And recently, just yesterday, Fred Rispoli responded, XRP Army, wow, it has been a crazy last 24 hours. There has been a lot happening. Longer thread with more info incoming in the next hour or so. Now, he posted this at 4:48 p.m. yesterday afternoon. And so we still have not seen any updates from Fred Rispoli, Dictator Know-It-All, saying, work with John Deaton on this seriously. If this goes pear-shaped, it'll get real nasty. Many people have spent a lot of time with this lawsuit, gathering evidence, etc. The majority of the XRP community does not want you going ahead alone. I can't say this strong enough. Danny Minter down here also saying, could you please just hold off until the Ripple XRP lawsuit is done? Even though you say it won't affect us, you never know. That would also give you enough time to gather more evidence and consult with the XRP community members who have been researching this for many months. So some in the XRP community, guys, a little concerned about this, especially now that Brad Garlinghouse is saying we are getting closer than ever, and I'm feeling more confident than ever that we are going to get the result we want. And bottom line, how is this going to affect the price? Right now, XRP trading at 78.5. It's looking like, at least at the time of this recording, it's continuing to make its way up. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.